Hello everybody, what's up? It's your girl BeeSparrow from BuzzzTweet Radio, and I just wanted to go over this article that I've been holding on to for some time now, and it is about the Falwells. Jerry Falwell Jr. and Sr. This stuff I can't make up. This should really be a soap opera, a series or something. So I'm going to start out with Jerry Falwell Sr. Jerry Lamont Falwell Sr. on August 11, 1933, was an American Southern Baptist pastor, TV evangelist, and conservative activist. He was the founding pastor of the Thomas Road Baptist Church, a megachurch in Lynchburg, Virginia. He founded Lynchburg Christian Academy, now Liberty Christian Academy, in 1967, and Liberty University in 1971, and co-founded the Moral Majority in 1979, according to Wikipedia. During the 1950s and 1960s, Falwell spoke and campaigned against the U.S. civil rights activist Martin Luther King Jr., and the racial desegregation of public school systems by the U.S. federal government. Liberty Christian Academy, LCA, founded as Lynchburg Christian Academy, is a Christian school in Lynchburg, which was described in 1966 by the Lynchburg News as, quote, a private school for white students, unquote. The Lynchburg Christian Academy later opened in 1967 by Falwell as a segregation academy and as a ministry of Thomas Road Baptist Church. The Liberty Christian Academy is today recognized as an educational facility by the Commonwealth of Virginia through the Virginia State Board of Education, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, and the Association of Christian Schools International. On his evangelist program, the Old Time Gospel Hour in the mid-1960s, Falwell regularly featured segregationist politicians like Lester Maddox and George Wallace. About Martin Luther King, he said, I do question the sincerity and nonviolent intentions of some civil rights leaders such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Mr. James Farms, and others who are known to have left-wing association. That information has been coming out lately here in 2019. Now, this article that I'm reading from, if I'm not mistaken, excuse me, was written in 08 or 09 or something like that. I want to make sure before I say that. It was written it's from Wikipedia. It doesn't say the date on here. And speaking of the Brown versus Board of Education ruling, he said in 1958, if Chief Justice Warren and his associates had known God's word and had desired to do the Lord's will, I am quite confident that the 1954 decision would never have been made. And I often wondered how it would have been had we never desegregated the schools. If you look at the schools now that were segregated, most right now today, most of them are predominantly black schools now. So I think that we should have been left to our own to work it out for ourselves. But that's just me. So I agree with the late Jerry Falwell on that part. By 1974, The Internal Revenue Service moved to revoke the tax-exempt status of Bob Jones University, which forbade interracial dating. Blacks had been denied entry until 1971. The decisions infuriated Falwell. In some states, it's easier to open a massage parlor than to open a Christian school, he said. What brought Falwell and other white evangelicals into common cause with political conservatives was a ruling issued in 1971 by the IRS. The ruling stripped tax-exempt status from all white private schools formed in the South in reaction to the Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court ruling to desegregate public schools. Falwell had founded one of these schools in Lynchburg, though he and other white evangelicals insisted that their schools were Christian academies, not segregation academies. In one fell swoop, writes political scientist Corey Robin, the heirs of slaveholders became the descendants of persecuted Baptists and Jim Crow heresy, a heresy the First Commandment was meant to protect. In this controversy, the religious right found its voice and its power. It also found common cause with political conservatives. The Heritage Foundation co-founder Paul Weyrich said Falwell launched the Moral Majority Political Action Committee during 1979 to aid the Catholic public protest against legal abortion in the United States in response to U.S. President Jimmy Carter's intervention against Christian schools. The IRS intervention began during the Ford administration by trying to deny them tax-exempt status on the basis of so-called de facto segregation. The Moral Majority became one of the largest political lobby groups for evangelical Christians in the United States during the 1980s. The Moral Majority was promoted as being pro-life, pro-traditional family, pro-moral, and pro-American, and was credited with delivering 2/3 of the white evangelical Christian vote to Ronald Reagan during the 1980 presidential elections. According to Jimmy Carter, that autumn in 1980, a group headed by Jerry Falwell purchased $10 million in commercials on Southern radio and TV to brand him, Carter, as a traitor to the South and no longer a Christian. During his time as head of the Moral Majority, Falwell consistently pushed for Republican candidates and for conservative politics. This led Billy Graham to criticize him for sermonizing about political issues that lacked a moral element, before adding, "We did not always agree on everything, but I knew him to be a man of God." His accomplishments went beyond most clergy of his generation. Falwell condemned homosexuality as forbidden by the Bible. Gay rights groups called Falwell an agent of intolerance and the founder of the anti-gay industry for statements he had made and for campaigning against LGBT social movements. Falwell supported Anita Bryant's 1977 Save Our Children campaign to overturn a Florida ordinance prohibiting discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, and a similar movement in California. In urging the repeal of the ordinance, Falwell told one crowd, quote, "Gay folks would just as soon kill you as look at you," end quote. When the LGBT-friendly Metropolitan Community Church was almost accepted into the World Council of Churches, Falwell called them brute beasts and stated this vile and satanic system will one day be utterly annihilated and there'll be a celebration in heaven. He later denied saying that. Falwell also regularly linked the AIDS pandemic to LGBT issues and stated AIDS is not just God's punishment for homosexuality, it is God's punishment for the society that tolerates homosexuals. After comedian and actress Ellen DeGeneres came out as a lesbian, Falwell referred to her in a sermon as Ellen DeGenerate. I actually thought that was her name, Ellen DeGenerate. DeGeneres mocked him, saying, "Really? He called me that? Ellen DeGenerate. I've been getting that since the 4th grade. I guess I'm happy I could give him work." Falwell's legacy regarding homosexuality is complicated by his support for LGBT civil rights, as well as his attempts to reconcile with the LGBT community in later years. In October of 1999, Falwell hosted a meeting of 200 evangelicals with 200 homosexuals at Thomas Road Baptist Church for an anti-violence forum, during which he acknowledged that some American evangelicals' comments about homosexuality entered the realm of hate speech that could incite violence. At the forum, Falwell told homosexuals in attendance, "I don't agree with your lifestyle, I will never agree with your lifestyle, but I love you," and added, "Anything that leaves the impression that we hate the sinner, we want to change that." He later commented to New York Times columnist Frank Rich that admittedly, evangelicals have not exhibited an ability to build a bond of friendship to the gay and lesbian community. "We've said go somewhere else. We don't need you here at our churches." And so I want to go, that was just to give you a little background on Jerry Falwell Sr., Jerry Lamont Falwell Sr. And also more background, in 2008, a homosexual scandal rocked arch-conservative Liberty University, where rumors were rampant that male students engaged in gay sex with campus pastors. It's just ironic that this man who spoke so harshly against homosexuality, that now on his campus, a homosexuality scandal was about to take place. And I will continue. Scrambling to do damage control, Falwell, an outspoken foe of homosexuality, slammed a news lid on his Lynchburg, Virginia campus. When an Inquirer reporter contacted the university to ask about the sudden resignation of Eric Lovett, 29, assistant pastor in Liberty's spiritual life departments, Falwell himself called back within minutes. "While I have heard rumors, I myself have no personal knowledge of any gay movement," said the then 68-year-old preacher. Lovett vehemently denies being part of any gay ring and insists he is not homosexual. But Falwell told the Inquirer, "I was told that he has had problems in this area that you speak of, homosexuality, but I myself have no personal knowledge of this." Both Eric Lovett, a strapping bodybuilder and leader of the school's band, and his father, Reverend Danny Lovett, dean of Liberty's Theological Seminary, played down their resignation. Reverend Lovett insists Eric had been planning since summer to try another career path. "There has never been any gay activity, nothing at all, in all the years I have been here," he says. "My son Eric and I have been praying together on what he wants to do with the rest of his life. He feels the Lord may be leading him in a new direction, into a music path that has been coming." Eric, caught in the middle of a whirlwind, told the Inquirer, "I resign on my own. I don't know where the rumors came from. You know how college campuses are, full of rumors of all kinds. I am not homosexual. Iron-fisted Falwell, who founded the university in 1971, held an emergency meeting on December 11th of that year. Not 1971, but I think 2001. In attendance were his top deans, the spiritual life department staff, and university president Dr. John M. Borek Jr., an insider revealed. Falwell told them the controversy was a bomb ready to explode. He ordered that only 2 people in the spiritual department were to answer the phones the following week. If any of the press got pushy, they should be told to call Falwell. The lid blew off the alleged existence of a campus gay group shortly after Thanksgiving of 2001. At that time, a male member of the university band went with his girlfriend to see one of the deans. The girlfriend had overheard a conversation about her boyfriend getting intimately involved with a university male staffer, disclosed the insider. The male student confessed, but university authorities accused him of lying, even though the student described the staffer's bedroom and even the sheets and pillowcases on his bed. Everything he said checked out 100%, and the story began to spread like a wildfire around campus. Falwell planned to announce a general assembly to inform the student body and faculty that Eric Lovett was resigning, but he canceled the idea when he was told that a number of other male students had been discovered to be actively gay. The Inquirer called student dorms to get more information, but by the second day of the calls, the lid of silence had slammed tight. One student said that they were told not to talk to the Inquirer about any gay circle or any rumors or anything about liberty. However, a few students revealed that Eric Lovett emailed goodbye messages to some students. Eric said he regretted any harm he had done and that he was leaving the ministry permanently, diverged student Steve Anderson. He said he had a lot of spiritual problems to resolve and apologized for leaving on such short notice. What elevates the scandal to national importance is Falwell's prominent platform, which he uses at times to assault the homosexual lifestyle and gay leadership. 2 days after the emotional, devastating September 11th tragedies, the evangelist joined religious broadcaster Pat Robertson in stating that pagans, homosexuals, abortionists, and feminists were partly to blame for the attacks because they offend the Most High, who allowed America's enemies to give us probably what we deserve. On May 15, 2007, Jerry Falwell died suddenly of cardiac arrhythmia in his office at Liberty University at the age of 73. He was buried in the grounds of the university he founded. So, like again, I was saying, I just wanted to give you some background on Jerry Falwell Sr., and as I continue to do my research, I came across other articles that you're not hearing about of him being accused and being found with pornography items in his home. Now, I'm not going to read that article because I don't believe that article is true. It had too many ridiculous comments in it, so I'm not even going to go into that. But what I do want to go to is the scandal that's taking place today here in 2019. See, that Jerry Falwell Sr. scandal was back in 2002, I believe. So, and I did that just to show you how scandalous these people really are. But they're not going to tell you. They're going to hide it and keep it locked so that future citizens won't know about this. They want to paint the Falwells as the perfect white family. But as we see, and will continue to see, the Falwells need their own sitcom. Seriously. The Falwells. Jerry Falwell Sr., he's not here anymore. But they should have had a sitcom on national TV. So let me go and skip to the future, to the present, of Jerry Lamont Falwell Jr. Jerry Lamont Falwell Jr. In a bombshell article, the New York Times uncovered new details about what may have been the real motivation for Jerry Falwell Jr.'s endorsement of Donald Trump for president in 2016. A crucial backing that helped bring evangelical voters to the Trump camp and helped him win the presidency. I'm telling you, Donald Trump is surrounded by evil. He himself being evil too. He has been mentioned in so many scandals that it's ridiculous, and that this man is still president boggles me. Sure, they're trying to impeach him, but in all honesty, I do not see that happening, and I actually see Donald Trump serving another term. So, sourcing information from a Florida lawsuit filed against the Falwells from Southern District of New York's investigation into former Trump attorney Michael Cohen, and from the efforts of actor and comic Tom Arnold, the newspaper paints a portrait of a web of sexual, financial, and legal entanglements between the Trump campaign, Jerry Falwell Jr. and his wife, and Giancarlo Grande, a pool attendant of Mexican and Cuban heritage. The story begins early in the 2016 campaign when Falwell Jr., the president of the fundamentalist Christian Liberty University, a position he inherited from his televangelist father, was expected to endorse Senator Ted Cruz's candidacy. It came as a shock, however, when he instead threw his support behind Donald Trump, a man whose morals and behavior would be logically be taught to be anathema to the conservative Christian circle that Falwell influences. The New York Times uncovered new details of the backstory behind the fundamentalist endorsements of Trump and helped deliver a crucial voting bloc. That backstory, in true Trump tabloid fashion, features the friendship between Mr. Falwell, his wife, and a former pool attendant at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami, arrangement engineered by the president's former fixer, Michael Cohen. After having met Giancarlo Grande while they were staying at the Fontainebleau, Falwell Jr. and his wife, Becky, struck up a friendship with the then 21-year-old man who was bringing them towels and drinks while they lounged by the pool. Before long, the ambitious Mr. Grande was accompanying the Falwells on hiking and water skiing excursions to Virginia. Shortly thereafter, the Falwells were impressed enough with the pool attendant to offer to offer to help him set up in a real estate deal in Florida with one of Grande's childhood friends, Jesus Fernandez Jr. The property that the Falwells helped Grande and his partner purchase in 2013 was the Miami Hostel, described by the Times as one of South Beach's best budget party hostels, and as sometimes listed as gay-friendly. If that doesn't sound like it's in the line with the fundamental Christian ethos taught at Liberty University, then the sign initially reported to be on the hostel's front gates makes it even clearer. No soliciting, no fundraising, politics, salesmen, religion. It read, according to a 2017 Politico article by Brandon Ambrosino, a Liberty graduate. The article describes the complicated financial arrangements between the Falwells, Grande, and Fernandez, and the disputes that led to the threats of a lawsuit by Fernandez and his father. The financial disagreement also brought to light the existence of compromising photos of the Falwells, described by Reuters as racy, personal photographs, the sort that would typically be kept between husband and wife, that could be used as leverage against them in the now active lawsuit. This is where Michael Cohen and Tom Arnold enter the picture. As someone well experienced in negotiating the cover-ups of the embarrassing sexual peccadillos that Donald Trump engaged in with Stormy Daniels and Playboy model Karen McDougal, Cohen offered his services as a fixer for the Falwells. Arnold's involvement came when he taped his conversation with Michael Cohen and shared it with the New York Times. There's a bunch of photographs, personal photographs, that somehow the guy ended up getting, Cohen said in the recording, whether it was off of Jerry's phone or somehow maybe it got airdropped or whatever the hell the whole thing was. Mr. Cohen told Mr. Arnold in the recording, presumably referring to Grande or Fernandez. These are photos between husband and wife, Mr. Cohen added, joking that the evangelicals were kinkier than Tom Arnold. He explained, I was going to pay him and I was going to get the negatives and do an agreement where they turn over all the technology that has the photographs or anything like that, any copies, but the payoff never happened, he said. And the guy just either deleted them on his own or what have you. Whether Falwell's endorsement of Trump was a result of the personal assistance offered by Cohen, as their potentially incriminating photos were in danger of being leaked, is something that will be difficult to prove without an admission by Falwell, who for his part has said that no compromising or embarrassing photos and that we never engaged or paid Cohen to represent us in any legal or other professional capacity. Given the circumstantial evidence presented by the New York Times article, however, it looks likely that the election of Donald Trump may have been enabled by a Falwell endorsement that was made out of fear that his evangelical bona fides would be destroyed by evidence of behavior that his Christian right followers would find mighty objectionable. And then I came across another article speaking on this about a lawsuit that Jerry Falwell settled. So, let's get into that. Jerry Falwell Jr. has settled a Miami court case that laid out many of the details behind the South Beach real estate venture his family launched in 2013 with a former Fontainebleau pool attendant. The evangelical leader and his wife met while on vacation. In a federal court filing, Falwell and the young lawyer who sued him, Gordon Bello, said they have settled the case of an undisclosed monetary sum that Falwell, the president of Liberty University, in Lynchburg, Virginia, will pay Bello a legislative aid for the Miami-Dade County Commission. Bello sued in 2017, claiming he was promised a stake in the South Beach hostel that a Farwell family entity purchased in 2013. Bello sued in 2017, claiming he was promised a stake in the South Beach hostel that a Farwell family entity purchased in 2013 for $4.7 million. Bello, 28, claims he and his father, Miami builder Jet Bello, pitched Farwell on the hostel idea after being introduced by Giancarlo Grande, a high school friend of the younger Bellos. Grande had met Jerry and Rebecca Farwell while they were vacationing at the Fontainebleau, and he was working as what the Bello lawsuit later described dismissively as a pool boy. Grande befriended the Farwells, flew with them on corporate jets, and in 2012 traveled to Liberty to meet a famous keynote speaker there, future President Donald Trump. Grande was granted a 25% share in the South Beach venture about a year later, and Bello's suit claimed he was promised a similar share. He sued to be compensated on the alleged agreement, which he never documented in court papers, and which Farwell denied ever existed. Bello said in court papers that he first met Rebecca Farwell through Grande and formed a personal relationship with her before he met Jerry Farwell in the lobby of the Lowe's Miami Beach for the alleged pitch meeting in 2012. In court papers, Farwell denied promising Bello anything, and his lawyers noted the plaintiff never filed any emails, texts, or documents suggesting a deal existed. The case became a side plot to the national saga of Farwell and his business venture with Grande, not to mention the odd twist, such as an ex-Trump lawyer claiming he had once intervened to track down compromising photos of the Farwell. Bello declined to comment, and his lawyer, Michael Adcock, did not respond to requests for comments. So there you have it, folks. These people who claim to be so pure and so white are just as scandalous as the next person. Jerry Farwell denies racist photos are of himself. He doesn't mention his wife or the pool boy. He just says there are no compromising, embarrassing photos of me. And so there you have it, y'all. This whole White House administration is a mess, and we all know this. They are a mess. It's your girl BeeSparrow from BuzzzTweet Radio. Please like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I thank you guys for listening. I'm out.